taste here of home cooking.
And what they're hoping to do is feed off the energy of the home crowd.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Chargers, they come off a good win in the opener on the road, and they get a second road game here.
Yeah, the schedule makers didn't really do them any favors, but if they can win here and get to 2-0 on the road, they could be...
Josh Allen that'll be orchestrating the offense, a 6'5" quarterback from Wyoming.
And the numbers were not pretty. I mean, they don't look right. When you throw 2 interceptions, no touchdown passes, there's no way to really make that work.
All right, here we go.
But I thought there were a lot of positives in watching his game.
And right away, he lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get them home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Joey Bosa in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
There's a lot of discussion in the offseason about him having a big year and getting to the quarterback. They held him without a sack in week 1, but how about here? Finally gets his first one of the season.
In the offseason, said he changed his diet, leaner, feels so good this year. Excited to see what type of a season he can have. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. So here's the Charger offense making their way out. They'll be led out by their veteran quarterback out of North Carolina State. It's Phillip Rivers.
Another great year for Phillip Rivers. 28 touchdown passes, and he went over 50,000 pass yards for his career while having his team in playoff contention late in the season. A lot of people thought the Chargers might look for a quarterback with their 17th overall pick. They didn't. In fact, they didn't draft one at all, which is a testament to Phillip Rivers' continued great play and durability.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll run. This is Melvin Gordon. They'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line. The numbers a week ago from Melvin Gordon. 15 carries, 58.
Well for them in the running game last week. No reason to change in my mind. Continue to try and run the football. Give it to him early and often in hopes of breaking down the defense so some bigger game.
And he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Chargers have taken a first-quarter lead. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
Sturgis out now to kick this one off. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Back onto the field now comes the Bills offense. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know, you know better than I, he has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. They were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
Successful start to the drive, 17 yards. It moves the sticks.
Brandon, I won't go overboard here, but it looks like he's off to another nice start after what he did last week when he was the AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And obviously a great start to the season, doing it in Week 1. He's one of those guys we maybe had pegged for a big year, showing out so far.
But you did say that to me in preseason. Looks like you're on target.
A good pickup there, 26 yards. A nice little completion there by Philip Rivers. And you and I were reading the article yesterday, 5th grade. Rivers had to do a project where he had to make a poster about his dreams and aspirations, so he clipped out. Gordon loses the football. It's loose. And the Bills have recovered. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Rivers now, after the fumble, shy of the 5 at the 6. 23 yards on the play. On that catch, he's already eclipsed 100 yards here in the first quarter. Charles, he's on pace for over 400.
And playing with great confidence, isn't he? I think he probably had it coming into.
And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Melvin Gordon, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Chargers are going to add on to their lead. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a 2nd one in Week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. And he'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
He'll start the drive with a carry by McCoy. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. 1 quarter in the books. Plenty of scoring here already. And we're back to upstate New York after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. 2nd quarter about to get underway with the Bills in possession. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Now Allen throwing on 2nd down. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on third down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
Philip Rivers, he is the focal point of our players' spotlight now. And they must have seen something leading up to this one that said, hey, we're going to be able to go deep because they've gone deep with a lot of success.
And pick your phrase, pick your code words, your buzzwords, whatever, vertical stretch, deep passes, go routes, right? What's that route you love? What's that route you love?
4 verts.
4 verts. All of it working because they're able to find ways to get deep and for him to show off that big, big arm.
We see some of that big arm right here. He has been great. Now he's going to throw it back deep over the middle. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, you have to be a little careful. You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone.
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Micah Hyde. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
So after the INT, it's Allen. Going to drop this off to McCoy. Complete. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
And he'll get him a little bit of breathing room across the 5 to the 6-yard line. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or two. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future all-pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago. Really, it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
So you have to give a lot of credit to the entire scouting organization. General manager, personnel department, college scouts, all came together. They evaluated it very well and got a nice payoff.
Now Benjamin. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Chargers will be set up pretty well as they take over in great field position. Philip Rivers now gears up to take the offense back out there. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, is that interception, even though you're playing while your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, because he's looked pretty good to this point. Trent Murphy, the one to bring him down.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. Now Rivers going to give it off to Gordon. He'll get this down inside the 10 for a pickup of about 3. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to Buffalo after this. A reminder coming up at halftime, the coach is back. He made it through the first weekend. That's the good news, and he's going to regale you with stats and scores from around the NFL here in the early games in Week 2.
You think he questioned coming back for Week 2 having to work with us?
I think he did. He's just happy that he is far away in Orlando. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. Got a man. It's Allen for the Charger touchdown. with his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Chargers find a way to stretch their lead. And, man, Charles, talk about zinging something in there. Those gloves, they help with one-handed catches, the fun stuff. Any padding for a rocket like that?
One would think so, but I'll guarantee you this. After that throw, his hands will hurt later. Not right now in the moment. He's just feeling good about catching it.
Yeah, a little stinger, but a touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here comes LaShawn McCoy as he trots back out there now. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? It'll be a 3-yard gain, and it'll make it 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Now let's go. Blue 90.
Allen looks to throw on 2nd down. And caught by Curley. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Flag comes in. This might be a free play. Allen hit. He lost the football. And this is recovered by the Chargers.
Offside. Defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
To the air. Allen. It's complete to his tight end, Charles Clay. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down. Now they got to get to the line quickly. On play action. Allen. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. And maybe he telegraphed it a little bit right there. You've got a cornerback knowing that he's going against a rookie quarterback. He stepped in and picked it.
You think he had a great week of preparation, looking forward to this opportunity? And the second part of that is, when you're a young quarterback, you are going to stare down targets, but oftentimes your playbook hasn't expanded to give you full field reads as well. Makes it a little bit tougher for him.
Talk about a big first half. Already has the 2 touchdowns, adding to his receiving total there and picking up the 1st down.
He's coming off the line so fast. I think he's intimidating the defensive backs with his explosiveness, and he's chipping away at their confidence.
And this is complete. It's Allen. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. So in the 2nd quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Now that was a terrific play. We're down here near the goal line, and only one word comes to mind for me, and that's overwhelmed. Because they absolutely overwhelmed the offensive line. He came free and made the hit in the backfield.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Play fake to Gordon. Now Rivers. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And Sturgis able to knock it through. And that stretches this lead even further. It's now 24-0. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39.
And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we have reached halftime intermission with the visiting Chargers on top as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll start up in the Steel City, Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, and it's the Chiefs who are out in front as they move towards halftime. Patrick Mahomes has thrown a touchdown pass there. From there, we head down to Tennessee to check on the Titans at home in Nashville. And this one going the visitors' way as the Texans have the lead in that one. Deshaun Watson has thrown a touchdown pass. Finally, we're off to Atlanta to check on the Falcons at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting Carolina Panthers. Matt Ryan has a touchdown pass. In the game you're watching, it's the veteran Phillip Rivers who's up to his old tricks. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep. Getting set to go again here on offense, Keenan Allen marches back onto the field. And he is over 200 yards. We thought this matchup might be good for him. It's been very good for him.
It's been great, hasn't it? And what's tough for any defense is trying to match up with a receiver nowadays. But these receivers all have all the answers. They'll line up tight. They'll line up wide. They'll be in the slot. They'll go in motion. And today, we're getting the full Monty from him.
And the full montage as well. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. But now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the ball for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. Rivers going to turn and give this one to his running back, Gordon. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give them a new set of downs.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. But I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
On 1st and 10, Rivers. And almost intercepted. It would have been his 2nd pick of the game. Instead, it'll be 2nd down.
I think it's pretty safe to say that when you're up 3 touchdowns, the last thing you want to do is hang one up there and put it in jeopardy and possibly get it intercepted. Got a nice lead. You should be able to protect it. But if you get careless with the football, look out.
Right back for Allen. This time he finds him complete. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. A very solid gain of 27. And what can they do here on 2nd and goal? 3 red zone trips so far have yielded 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Now the handoff comes to Gordon. Give him 4 on the carry there at 2nd and goal.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
1 man in the backfield. That's Gordon. 2nd and goal. Off the play fake here. Rivers. And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown, L.A. Phillip Rivers with his 3rd touchdown pass of the game. And this Chargers offense continues to pour it on. He's definitely making his mark early in the year from the tight end position. 2 games played, 2 touchdowns.
And from what I've seen on tape so far this year, his ability to use the fakes well, is a body in the red zone. They should continue to look his way through the entire season.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So here's the Bills offense now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve.
All right, here we go.
Now a first down carry here for McCoy. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Allen now looks to throw into a double team, and it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 46. There he goes right side. And this is going to be a Charger touchdown. This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Now Sturgis on to add the extra point. Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through. And that will extend this big lead. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Bills offense coming out, ready to take over. And they just had that pick six. I guess the only positive maybe of them returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that.
Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now Allen, and that is incomplete.
This has been a really nice day for the defense. They've made it so difficult to find open receivers because they're able to squeeze the passing lanes down. A lot of what they're doing is communicating. Receivers in one area, receivers in another area. They're almost what they call passing them off from one defender to the next, even in zone defenses, and making it very hard to find an open spot for the quarterback to deliver the ball.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Returning, it's Benjamin.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
And that negates a pretty decent punt return.
And the goal is to gain a first down on a punt return, which is 10 yards. This was much more than that, but it is going to come back due to the illegal block in the back.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on first down. Trying to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Vontae Davis. And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line.
Brandon, these cornerbacks had their hands full all afternoon long, but they finally get a measure of revenge as he gets himself in a nice spot. He's able to get two hands on the football and pick it off.
Here's Allen. And his throw's going to be incomplete. They were looking to get it to Kelvin Benjamin there. And that'll bring up second down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
And he's got this down to the 35. And this is a blowout. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
Now let's go. 3-19.
Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. Curley's got it. Complete. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
14 yards, and the Bills will get a new set of downs. Finally, a first red zone opportunity for these guys. 1st and 10 right at the 20. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
Jumpy on the right side of the line.
Sometimes when you're on the end,
Still
a little bit
first down.
farther away from the ball, any type of movement will get you to jump, and that's exactly what happened there.
They will come up on a 1st and 5 following the encroachment penalty.
Set. Green 39. Green 39.
Now Allen again. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Andre Holmes that time. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Set. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Again, they'll throw with Allen. And incomplete on the deep ball.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Field goal forthcoming for Stephen Hauschka. And Hauschka's kick is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
And this will not work out. The Chargers able to recover. The risk-reward of the onside kick. When you don't get it, the risk comes out to play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them, and field position leads you to that type of play calling, and whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things. Now they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
Here's Rivers. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Now a handoff. This is Gordon. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
When the 4-3 defense is functioning really well, you know who stays what we call clean and no one gets to him? The guy playing the middle linebacker position, the guy we call Mike. That means the defensive front is eating up all the blocks and just let him go to the football and make a play.
And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. So you had to figure that sooner or later someone was going to top Matt Prater's record of 64, and officially this one will go in the record books at 65.
You saw him lining up for this, and you just thought to yourself, you know, He couldn't make this. And sure enough, to be here to see it, that's pretty darn awesome.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bills offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want a drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
You met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants a drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Under 4 to go now as they come up on second down.
Here we go now. Blue, Niners. Blue.
On second down, here's Allen. They're going over the middle here to Curley. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Throw right there to move the sticks.
3-19.
Here's Allen on 1st and 10. Incomplete. He was looking for Charles Clay as tight end. And now it's second down. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter and find their way open.
Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Charles Clay is tight in the intended target, and it'll bring up third down.
And that's exactly what was talked about almost ad nauseum in the draft process for Josh Allen. His ability to be accurate and deliver the football, not just on time.
And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Jaleel Adai. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Partner's bad enough when you just can't hold on to the football. But when your quarterback's throwing it to the other team, that's 3 interceptions now, 4 turnovers for the game. You really have no chance to win the football game.
Following the interception here, Rivers finds the open man. It's Mike Williams. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling, but inside is thinking 24-hour rule, because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
Sturgis out now to kick this one off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And now out come the Bills. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. They're looking at second down now as they search for a consolation score. Now Allen throwing on second down. And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out.
Offense.
Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpire's got different responsibilities. But always making sure no one's holding.
To throw on second down. Allen, they'll set up the screen to McCoy.
All right, now look
And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. This is caught at the 20. It's a big play for the Bills on third down. 68 yards. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Operating from the red zone now. Allen. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. And that's McCoy, who is still down following the play. Appears shaken up. We'll check on his status when we return to Orchard Park. The last catch did get 3, but they're still left needing 7 yards on third down. Allen to throw once more. And this is going to be incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on third down.
So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. And Hauschka's kick is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
The Chargers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now,
and they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. The extra point hitting the right upright, but it caroms home, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Sturgis out now to kick this one off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Bills offense gets ready to head back onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game.
And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. Corey Legion able to run him down for a loss of a yard.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Caught on the left side by Benjamin. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for our visitors, it's a